What about John Jones? Because Adesanya's kind of in a similar position where he has planned a bunch of fights at middleweight. He wants to be active and defend that belt. Do you think that we see John Jones versus Adesanya, at any point?
I think that fight is further out than it once was. Don't forget what's happened in the last 60 days, largely because of Dominic Reyes. But nobody could sell out an arena fighting John Jones. John Jones was the worst drawing champion in the organization. That wasn't John's fault. John did everything right. He was getting a little bit of the Roy Jones effect, where he was so good and everybody knew how that movie was going to end, so nobody wanted to buy a ticket to watch it. The reality is now, because of the competitiveness that Reyes showed with him, many people believing Reyes won, myself included, that all of a sudden it did just get a little bit more interesting. Now John trying to stay away from Reyes and go over to Blachowicz, showing that. I mean, those things work. Those are playground rules, but playground rules don't go away in the pros. And the point I'm trying to make is John had nothing going on. He was talking about going up to heavyweight just so he get somebody to watch him. He was talking about trying to bring Adesanya up to light heavyweight just to get somebody to watch. All of a sudden, the world is different for John Jones. John now has two great fights between Jan Blachowicz and Dominic Reyes. Who's he going to fight next? I don't know, but I can tell you with confidence he's going to fight both of them.
It's interesting because going back to this feud with, well, I guess you can't really call it a feud, but it is building into a big thing between Jones and Israel Adesanya. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what do you think of it so far? I mean, it's back and forth on Twitter and Instagram, and it's not really in person. But do you think it could compare to you and Anderson back in the day if this thing keeps building?
Oh, definitely. Yes, if that fight got signed and those guys were given a full media tour, yeah. And what's so good about him is Adesanya is absolutely sure he's going to beat John Jones. And John Jones is absolutely sure he's going to beat Adesanya. And both of them with their speak as well, it's the same thing. Neither one is conceding to Big Brother here. They're both looking at like, hey, I'm the alpha in the room. There's something very fun about that. And, yeah, I think that could be real fun. I think Adesanya will take it in any direction. I think John Jones, since his latest arrest and the fact that, I mean, the mask is off. The world's known he's a scumbag for a while, but now that he's finally in touch with just what a dirty guy he is, and now he's putting out interviews, he's steering into it. Look, from a livability and a civility standpoint, okay, go ahead and question John Jones's character. I'm speaking about from a marketing and promotional standpoint, he's doing everything right. The gig is up. Everybody knows you were on TMZ in handcuffs crying about, I want to go home and be with my kids. It's like, dude, it's 2 a.m. You're firing guns while running donuts in a parking lot, high, drunk on tequila. Your time to be with are your kids even still up, you bum? The fact that he would be that level of a scumbag, just go with it. Just be a scumbag.
When shooting afterwards on social media, he's embracing the heel. Let me ask you this, because a lot of people are talking about what the fight would look like. I would love to know, what would the fight week look like? John Jones is someone that you've had a fight week with before, and John Jones is a guy who's pretty good on the mic. He's pretty good at deflecting. He's pretty good at responding. He's pretty good in person. And then you got Israel Adesanya, who has shown us he's really good as well. Who do you think wins that battle before the guys actually get in the octagon?
I got to tell you, with all due respect, that you're the first guy to ever say John was good on a mic. John doesn't even know what day it is most of the time. I mean, John really is just looking for the next party. So you're literally the first person to ever say that you thought John spoke well. But I will tell you, Adesanya brings a fire, right? I mean, there's a venom. He practiced. He's rehearsed. John Jones is not ready for press conferences. And a lot of guys see a dishonor in that you should just freestyle and answer the questions that are asked of you. Man, it's no different than any other job interview or any test I've ever gone to in my life. If I know it's test day, I'm going to study for the test. Adesanya studies for the test. He doesn't answer the question asked of him. He waits till your mouth's done moving, and then he says whatever the hell he wants. John Jones answers questions. Good ones don't answer questions. They handle questions.
Who would you lean to? Excuse me. Who would you lean towards in that fight if it were to happen?
Forget it. Adesanya whip his ass.
Really? That confident on the feet,
yeah,
or just everywhere?
Do you think Thiago Santos beats Adesanya, or do you think that Dominic Reyes beats Adesanya? I mean, these were really close matches for John Jones. I thought he lost both of them on the 10-9 must system. I thought he lost to Santos too. I'm not bullish on that. I'm not even bullish on the Reyes one. Those were just my opinions. I think that ship has sailed. I think John's tough. I don't think he's the greatest of all time. I think that's Georges St-Pierre, but I do think that John Jones would have an argument to the toughest of all time. To watch his grit, to watch John Jones seeing everything slip away, and he finds a way to get victory anyway. He finds a way to push through. John gets a lot of credit with me. I just think when you're comparing him to Adesanya's one. Jones is in a good spot, but he's still number 2.
I'd just love to hear what memories do you have from the fight with John Jones? Obviously, it didn't go your way, but then at the end of the fight, you find out his toe was popping out of his foot, and if the fight would have gone on a bit longer, you would have been the first guy to beat John Jones. What sort of pops out to you when you got in that? By the way, an unbelievable season of The Ultimate Fighter as well.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun there. What popped out in the actual fight, I remember John and I locked up right at the beginning, and I remember it was like a Volvo and a Mack truck, and he just pushed me across the octagon, and my back even hit the cage. I remember when it hit, going, I'm in a bad night right now. And I mean, I had a higher juice concentrate than Tropicana for that fight, and he still pushed me around. So I remember when we locked up, I remember going, I know your secret, John. And it was about a year later when, he failed more drug tests than I did, which actually disappoints me, right? I had the record. John had to take everything from me, including that. But I do remember when we locked up the first time, I knew what I was doing, and I'm the one getting shoved around. I also knew what he was doing.